Welcome back to GamesRadar Live at Gamescom 2022. Josh here just got hands-on with Plague Tale Requiem, sequel obviously to Plague Tale, much beloved game at this point. Tell us a little bit about Requiem.
Yeah, so the team is back. They've expanded and are really pushing to take a Plague Tale to new heights. It's everything you loved about the first game, just on a bigger scale. So the world's bigger, the sort of move set and opportunities you have to sort of experiment in the play spaces is bigger. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's so close to like being on almost like a Last of Us level. Like,
right.
The studio loves Naughty Dog. I was chatting to the creative director, and he was sort of saying that, you know, Last of Us was a touch point for the first game, and, you know, any comparisons they get is always welcomed. But yeah, I mean, it looks truly gorgeous, and yeah, it's great to play.
And so the first game obviously was sort of avoidance combat, right? Like a lot of stealthing around and stuff like that. Is this game more involved as far as combat goes, or are they kind of sticking to that original formula?
Combat is still limited by design,
Yeah.
so, you know, the interplay between the two characters, you know, one's a little kid, obviously, you know, you're sort of playing the role of protector. And in terms of combat, realistically, when you get spotted by an enemy, you have a limited window to fight back. It's realistically, it is countering and running and hiding. So stealth is the preferred option, but there are more options now. There's more space to move around, at least in the level that I played. You know, where you can sort of mantle up different bits of cover and take different routes and use a new focus ability that sort of lets you suss out where enemies might be on the map and where the rats might be hiding as well. So yeah, it's still a stealth game at heart, but it feels better to move around.
Right.
And yeah, it just feels more iterative. Like, it's the first game, but polished to a higher standard.
Sure. And so, like you say, the first game's already out there. It's beloved by many people. It's on Game Pass, so it's easy enough to pick up. If you haven't played the first game, are you in at the deep end here, or do you get the feel that there's a bit of a prologue, I guess, or like a catch-up sort of thing?
Yeah, the level I played was sort of, you know, in the game, so
Yeah.
I was sort of, you know, divorced from the context of what was happening. But I get the sense that you should probably play the first game if you can. Like, it is on Game Pass. It's on, I think, every other platform, you know, known to man. Just because it's such a story-driven,
Yeah, of course.
concept. Like, the studio was telling me that they weren't going to do a sequel until the right story came to them, and then they were like, okay, this makes sense. Let's keep going.
Right.
But it is a story-driven game. Like, it'd be like playing The Last of Us 2 without playing The Last of Us 1. It is possible, and it will reset the boundaries enough that if you haven't played the first game for whatever reason, you could go in and probably still have a great time. But obviously, you'll miss on some of the little character intricacies, little, you know, moments between two really, really cool characters that we sort of spent 8 hours with already. So
Yeah. And so you mentioned then that the scope of this game has increased, the areas are bigger, and obviously the graphical fidelity has increased. Is the length of the game increased as well? Do you have a sense of that?
Don't have a sense of that. I would guess that it will be as long as the story dictates. I would imagine that it's probably going to be another sort of 14 to, you know, 20-hour adventure.
Yeah.
But what I really like about the studio making it is they're not going to overextend it, I think, is the sense I get. Like, everything feels very well placed, like it should be there, and not there for the sake of padding or, you know, just wasting time. So that I really appreciate. But yeah, it's a really tight experience.
Fantastic stuff. Well, it's one of the most anticipated games coming to Xbox in the near future, and so make sure you subscribe to the channel because we will be doing a full video review when it does launch. Thanks for joining me. See you on the next one.
Remember, the Count Arl wants this land clean of its scum. This girl killed your brothers. Her execution will take place here. What's making that noise?